Today we're going to be talking about how to stop picking the wrong partner. Now, for those of you that have had a series of breakups or a series of, I was going to say a series of unfortunate events, a series of dysfunctional relationships, I'm really hoping that this is going to be useful, applicable information for you. I've created for you, if you're interested, a free relationship evaluation guide. It's actually going to go into more depth than what I'm talking about today, but it follows the steps that I'm going to be teaching you today of how to stop picking the wrong partner. So you can find that by clicking on the link in my channel, and it will take you to a page that you can fill out, and then you can get your downloadable evaluation guide. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do if you want to stop picking the wrong partner is you need to reflect on previous relationships. And you have to do this with a purpose. And the purpose is this. It's to uncover the patterns that you have. So how do you do that? I would really suggest that you write down, that you print out that evaluation guide, or you take out a piece of paper, one for every single relationship that you've been in. And at minimum, you answer these three questions. What attracted you to each of those people in the first place, right? We all have qualities or characteristics that we tend to be attracted to. You want to put that down on paper so you can see it. The other question is, what were some of the main struggles or problems in each of your relationships? And the last question that I would suggest you do are, what were the reasons for the breakups? Now, on that evaluation guide, I have a lot more questions for you to reflect and think about, but these three can get you started. Now, what you want to do after you've written them down is you want to look across all of your relationships, right? What are you seeing? What patterns are you noticing? What are some of the common themes? Are there trust issues involved? Maybe you had communication problems through all of your things. Maybe there's one personality type that is the similar for every single person. And then, oh my gosh, we have similar problems in every single relationship, right? So this is going to help give you information moving forward. So that's why I really want you to do that. The next part of this is the analysis. So you look at all your relationships, you find your common themes or patterns. Then the hard part, you got to figure out why. Why are you attracted to these attributes or qualities? Why are you choosing those particular people? Now, this is something that you can absolutely do on your own. I think it's easier if you can verbally process with someone, whether it's a trusted friend or loved one, whether it's with a therapist or a certified coach. Mental health professionals, we are trained to ask you certain types of questions that can help you uncover the reasons why you're making the choices you are and picking the people that you're picking. All right. So that is definitely worth looking into if you are serious or really about stopping picking the wrong people. But getting back to the why, that takes some thought. So I suggest brainstorming 3 to 4 reasons, potential reasons of why you think you might be picking these people. And you really need to go inward. I thought I'd share with you a couple of examples from people that I've worked with in the past. One of my clients discovered that he's very attracted to women who he perceives as needing fixing, and then he gets to go fix them. I have another partner that was very attracted to certain professions, men in certain professions. She was attracted to doctors and surgeons, firefighters, police officers. And what we discovered was that they made her feel safe, right? Someone else I was working with discovered through our sessions that she was consistently dating men who had the same qualities as her mom, who she felt like she never got really love or acceptance from, right? So these are pretty significant findings for people. Once you really figure out why, you have that aha moment of why you're picking these types of people, that's where your work is on yourself, right? So, which is a whole nother issue, but that's really something for you to dig into and do some work around. Now, after you've looked for your patterns, this is the part where you need to stay open-minded. I would really encourage you to start dating people or being open to dating people who are not your type, okay? Your type's not working. If it was working, you wouldn't still be watching this video, right? So I really encourage you to accept or ask people out who are not your usual type of a person, okay? And be open-minded about it. If you go into a date with a really shitty attitude, like, oh, he's totally not my type, or I'm not going to ask her out, or whatever, she's not my type, I don't really care, then the date is just, it's not going to be fun. First of all, it's not going to be fun. Second of all, it's probably not going to help you very much. So if you're willing to do this, you need to be open-minded through the whole process, and really be open to getting to know this other person. There's a myth out there, I think, that there has to be like an instant spark. I do not believe there actually has to be an instant spark. Sometimes that's just a flash in the pan. A lot of times you don't discover if you have chemistry or really attraction until a few dates in. So you want to give yourself some time and some space and date a couple of times, even if that initial like isn't there. It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means it's not there yet, right? So you want to stay open. All right. The next thing is you got to get future focused. So I'm going to give you two things that I have my clients do. The first one is I have them write down what are 3 adjectives to describe the way they want their next relationship to feel. Every single person has their own idea of what a healthy, good, fun relationship feels like. I want you to write yours down, all right? The next thing is you want to write down your top 5 to 10 things that you want out of your relationship. And then define it. That's the important part, define it. So for example, if you want quality time, write quality time, and then tell me, what does quality time mean to you? What does it look like? For some people, quality time literally means sitting down with coffee every morning and chit-chatting with their partner. Quality time to other people means walks. Quality time to some people might mean going out and playing basketball together, or sitting down and watching a movie together, or watching Netflix, right? Your version of quality time might be different than somebody else's, which is why you want to get really specific about what it is you want out of your next relationship, okay? Now, I'm having you write these down for a reason. It's to remind you. So you want to look at your lists every single day. And when you start dating people, this is the key, and this is where people go astray. They choose people who they're attracted to, right? The thing in them that's drawing them to that person, but their values don't line up. So I'm dating you because I think you're hot and you're smart and you're funny, but you're not interested really in quality time with me the way I want quality time, right? And so what happens is you have this information, you know this, but you still choose to get in a relationship anyway. That's the key. If you want to stop picking the wrong people, the moment you know that this is not really quite the right fit, that's your cue of, do I really want to commit to this relationship? Is this a relationship that I want to get myself into? Or is this a relationship that I want to stay in? Okay. And that's where usually the breakdown comes. We get into relationships that we, in the back of our mind, know aren't really the best for us, but we do it anyway because it feels good at the time. And then we've lost an entire year with the wrong partner. So that really is the key, is to keep in mind what you want out of your future and then make decisions based from that, from a logical place, not just from a heart place, okay? Because you can love and be attracted to somebody who is not your best fit. And if they're not your best fit, you have a couple of choices. You can make it work, which is fantastic if that's what you choose to do. It just might be a little harder, or you can move on, right? And so you want to make sure that you are making good decisions once you start getting into a relationship. Now, when you're dating, let's get back to the early dating. When you're dating someone and you're like, I think this person might be a good fit for me, then you want to bring them around people that you love and that you trust, your family, your friends, and then ask your family and friends what they observe, right? What do you think about this person? And you need to make sure the person is going to tell you the truth, okay? Your family and friends have a different perspective on you than you have on you. And they have a different vantage point observing how you and this other person interact together, observing your energy when you're around each other. And so that's just important, helpful information for you. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that your friend or family says. But again, it's just something for you to keep in the back of your mind as you're making decisions about who you want to really get into a relationship with. All right, this is the last thing. When you are in those early stages of dating, especially, but always through your relationship, I suggest you do this, but especially in the early phases, there are two things that I want you to be thinking about. Number one, think about the not so great qualities of this new person. Once you start discovering them, it's going to take a little time to discover. Once you start seeing their not so great qualities, how do you feel about those qualities? Are you okay with them? Are they going to drive you insane, right? How you think about the not so great qualities in the person that you're dating has a huge impact on how, in the end, how your relationship feels. Because over time, you're going to be exposed to those things over and over again. And if it's something that in the beginning really like a little bit bugs you and you can't change your mind frame around, it's really going to probably get in the way and bug you later on down the road. So those are like the little nuances that most people kind of like shoo away and they don't pay attention to, but I really do think it's important to pay attention to them. There's one other thing I want you to pay attention to. How do you and this new person you're dating deal with like little hiccups, little issues, little problems in this new relationship? How you do deal with the little things that are happening is an indication of how you're most likely going to deal with things big in the relationship down the road. So, for example, if something kind of goes sideways, especially in the beginning, it goes sideways and you both dig in your heels and you argue and it's like, I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong, and you're really concerned about who's right and who's wrong, that's a good indication for you that that's how it's going to be when bigger conflicts occur. Now, maybe you are able to deal with those things really well. Like a little hiccup happens, you both calmly talk about it, you come from a neutral place and you try to find a mutually agreed upon solution to the problem. That's a fantastic sign. It means that most likely when bigger shit hits the fan, you're going to be able to deal with it in a positive way. That's a really great sign. Something else that most people don't realize, and I'm going to do a little stereotypical thing here. It's pretty stereotypical for women to be more of the accommodator in the relationship. I know this is something that I struggle with. If early on something small happens and you just like accommodate or give in, or the other person accommodates and gives in just because it's easy, that is a sign that's probably how it's going to go when bigger issues arise. And that is really kind of sets up a negative conflict resolution pattern for the relationship. And how you resolve conflict is a really big part of how a relationship feels. So be mindful about how you are thinking about your partners or this new person you're dating, their not so great qualities, and also be aware of how are they perceiving your not so great qualities, right? Because a lot of time our not so great qualities are sometimes things that we like about ourselves because it's what makes us different or unique. And if the other person doesn't see it like that, that is kind of a negative, and it's not necessarily something that most people want in the relationship. So be mindful about that. Be mindful about how you are dealing with the small issues that arise in this new dating relationship. All right. Hopefully you found this information helpful. Please make sure to leave comments. If you need me to clarify anything, if you have any questions, please leave them there and I will, of course, answer them. And last but not least, if you want individual help, I am still offering one-on-one coaching. It's pretty reasonably priced, I would say. So you can check that out at www.kahoskins.com, and you can see all my pricing and also get on my calendar and we can chit chat about how I might be able to help you. All right, y'all, have a fantastic day.